Hi, I'm assuming you're here for ga, so let's get right to it. So what exactly is ga? If wa is the topic particle, then what's ga? Why do people say 私がやりました instead of 私がやりました? Or something like 彼が好き instead of 彼は好き? There's actually quite a lot of ways to use ga, and I feel like that leaves learners confused. It sure as hell left me confused when I was studying. And a lot of learners ask, what exactly is the difference between wa and ga? Well, I have a surprise for you. You'll be able to understand ga with just one simple explanation instead of 10,000 other explanations. Now, I do want to say the explanation I'm about to provide does help you with comprehending ga and wa and their differences, but having studied Japanese for 13 years, I really do think that this is one of the particles that you just need to feel in order to get the hang of it. It's a really, really difficult particle, and yes, while there are many great, amazing explanations out there to help you get the hang of it, I really think you just need a lot of exposure, a ton of exposure to the language in order to grasp on how to use it. Many textbooks say that ga marks the subject of the sentence. That's not wrong, but here's a new way to think about ga that I found through Kaname Naito. Thank you so much, Kaname. It simply describes what is happening. What's happening? The focus is on the situation, and ga highlights the key piece of that situation. It can also describe a feeling that has occurred, and that feeling is directed towards something. Example time, let's take a look. Sensei ga utatte yo. The teacher is singing. Sensei ga utatte yo. So something is happening. Obviously you can tell what's happening, but in this case, it's singing. The singing is the happening. And ga tells you who's doing it. So with ga, I'm pointing out what is happening or who and what is doing that thing. With this, it kind of feels like more of a discovery, like you're kind of looking around and then you all of a sudden spot your teacher and you're like, whoa, they're singing, oh my gosh. Kind of like that. And you weren't talking about the teacher before. You didn't mention the teacher. It's just kind of, you're marking the teacher as the specific thing that is doing the happening. Now, if we were to take a look at wa, sensei wa utatte ryo, you would have already been talking about the teacher previously with somebody, and you're kind of just adding on general information to the sentence about the teacher. Sensei wa sakki made ita kedo, doko ni itta kana? Sensei wa ne, utatte ryo. So A is pointing out, well, the sensei was here, but like, now he's not. I wonder where he went. So you're marking the sensei as the topic, and you're talking about the sensei. And B comes in and he's like, yeah, well, as for the sensei, he's singing, actually. You're not bringing in any new information. You're not doing any of that. You're kind of just adding on information about the sensei, who is the topic. Shimekiri wa jikai o shirasu suru. Inform about deadline next time. And then we have ga. Shimekiri ga jikai o shirasu suru. Deadline informs next time. Gotta save a little bit weird difference right here. So with wa, we're talking about the deadline as the main focus of the conversation. It is the topic, and that is all that it is. We're discussing about the deadline. It doesn't mean that it's doing the action, or it doesn't mean that something is happening about it. It just means that it's the topic and we're discussing it. Now, if we were to replace it with ga, it actually means that the deadline is the one who is doing the action. So the deadline will be notifying next time, which sounds kind of really weird, huh? We're not marking a topic or anything like that. Last example. この曲が好き. So this one deals with a little bit of feelings, which I like. You have these feelings of like likeness, and something causes those feelings. And in this case, it is this song. You're marking the specific thing that causes those feelings. If you were to use it with wa, you're kind of comparing with other things. So as for this song, I like it, but maybe I might not like other songs. You're just kind of talking about the song in a general sense. You're not specifying anything about the song. You're just saying, hey, this song's good, but maybe other songs might not be better. Personally, I kind of feel liking something or having feeling towards something is a kind of happening. It's a state in which you exist, and that is kind of like a happening, right? So you have these feelings of likeness, or you have these feelings of like sadness or something like that. That is a state, and I think I feel like I can kind of treat that as a happening of some sort. And If you want to specify what is causing that happening, then you would use ga. Just keep this in mind whenever you run across ga. I've actually kept this in mind for a little bit after discovering this. When I'm reading sentences and I come across ga and then I compare it to wa, it kind of plays out all right, and it works almost all of the time. It's a very true statement, and it really helps me get the difference between the two and how to use it in Japanese. So yeah. That's it for today's video. Not yet, because I have yet to talk about these. These are my books, The Japanese Language Manual Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 1 goes over basic, very easy grammar that you need to know, and it talks about everything I talked about in this video today, but it gives you a little bit of a different perspective on wa and ga. So I really recommend reading this. And then this one, Volume 2, it goes into advanced grammar and it gets you to fluency, basically. You're able to learn how to express your feelings, opinions, and talk about many more things with this volume. So I really recommend checking them out. I spent 2 whole years working on them and I think you're gonna love them. They're a lot of fun. And it doesn't read like a textbook. It reads more like you're texting a friend, which I have mentioned in that other videos, but I think it's something that is very unique. So yeah. Go ahead and check them out. Thank you so much for today's video. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.